In a massive injury update, we have learned that Julius Randle will not be out for the rest of the season, as the New York Knicks star power forward will be reevaluated on a week-to-week basis. And we have to talk about this because this is awesome news. So what's up, guys? Welcome back to Knicks Digest. It's Chris here, and we're going to jump right into the video as we always do, because Julius Randle will be okay, and he will return this season, which is awesome news. Such a sigh of relief. And as Sham said, Knicks star Julius Randle is expected to be sidelined for at least a few weeks with a right shoulder dislocation. Appears to be a sigh of relief for New York, as initial reviews of the MRI reveal no significant damage. Now, I know a lot of people have sort of been back and forth on, is Randle out for the season? Is this just a minor shoulder dislocation? What's the deal? Dislocations are weird. Sometimes they can rip through muscles. That happened to John Morant. It's why he was out for the season, because his shoulder dislocated and it went through the labrum, and that tore his labrum. Then he had to get surgery on that. Sounds like Randle's not going to need surgery. Dislocations obviously do not always need surgery. And in this case, Randle should be fine. He will have to do a bit of physical therapy just to get back into shape. But he will be okay, which is huge news. Because I know that people have conflicting reports or conflicting opinions on Julius Randle. Whether you like him, whether you hate him, he's very polarizing to Knicks fans. I don't really understand why. He's on the Knicks and he plays well, so I don't see why people always want to call him bad or whatever and be like, oh, Julius Randle's trash. Like, all right, no, he's not, but whatever. It's fine. All Knicks fans know how important he is to the team because we've all been holding our breath waiting to see what is going to be the verdict with him. And that more than anything shows how important he is to this team. Even if he doesn't get the love that Jalen Brunson does, everyone was waiting to see what was going to happen with Julius. Was he going to be out for the year? Because let's be real, if Julius was out for the season, we probably were not going to get out of the first round of the playoffs. With him going to be back and fully healthy for playoffs, now we can make a run to the Eastern Conference Finals. That's the difference that Julius Randle has on this team. Is he the team's best player? No, Brunson's the best player. But is Randle the second best player? Of course. He's also an all-star level player. And it just, we all know that the Knicks need Julius to be at their best. Julius is also sort of the team's captain. He's the vocal leader. He does a ton for this franchise. Some fans just don't care to pay attention to it, and that's whatever. But something to really take note of here is that Randle will be back and that he now probably will not make the All-Star game because he is going to miss the next month or so. He was kind of on the border of All-Star and not All-Star anyway. I thought he should have been an All-Star. He's been a monster this season. He had a slow start, but that was really it. His first 9 games were bad. And then after that, he played like an All-Star. So I think Randle should be an All-Star. I do think with the injury, though, that might keep him out of it. However, the Knicks will still have Brunson representing him with the All-Star game, so we'll be okay. I obviously am thrilled that Randle will not be missing the rest of the season. Anyone who rooted for that is just not a Knicks fan. I don't know anyone who's rooted for that, but if someone did, you are not a Knicks fan. That's just not what Knicks fans do. But we're going to have to still do something to kind of ensure the fact that we don't really have a starting level power forward right now, and we could play OG at that position, kind of run a small ball lineup with OG at the 4, have Josh Hart at the 3 or something like that. But it also, this team is best with Julius Randle on the court and with the team, and because of that, we might need to go out, make a minor trade, but now we're not going to have to do something drastic because we're not going to need to pick up the slack for Randle for that long. If I had to guess, he's going to be back right after the All-Star break. So that is a few weeks of basketball without Julius. And basically only time will tell what that's going to lead to. Is it going to work? Are the Knicks going to be fine? Or are they going to be in some serious trouble without their best interior scorer? So really the Knicks need to just kind of figure that out, figure out what they're going to do. Are they going to make some sort of significant trade? Or are they just going to do nothing severe? I don't think they should do anything crazy. Maybe go for a trade, get like someone who could play power forward, and I don't know, call it a day. Just have them back up Julius. Essentially be Julius Randle's insurance. Even a guy like Torrey Craig from Chicago. I mean, he's not going to cost much. I mean, you could throw like a second rounder and I don't know, matching salary or something. I'm sorry, I woke up not that long ago and I'm filming this, but we move on. As Woj said, As testing continues on Randle's shoulder, indications are optimistic that his absence will be measured in weeks and not months. That is the kicker right there, because that could mean anywhere from 3 to 5 weeks to 2 to 4 weeks to 3 weeks from now. Randle will be back. And that's great because the alternative was potential shoulder surgery, which would have ended Julius' season and ended the Knicks' hopes and dreams of anything great happening this season. So, clearly this is all good news. Clearly this is going to have an impact on the trade deadline because a few days ago we were all thinking, okay, the Knicks are going to have to make a major move if they still want to be a top team in the East. Now they're not going to have to do that, but they are still going to have to make a move at the trade deadline. The Knicks right now are going to show even more just of this lack of ability to give the guy the ball and just let him do whatever the hell he can do. Because Randle's one of those guys. Brunson's the guy. But right after that, it's Julius. Outside of that, there's not too many guys. I mean, I guess we're going to see what OG can do as the second scoring option on a team. And it'll also kind of be cool to see Dante DiVincenzo with a little more attempts. But the Knicks are going to have a glaring hole in their roster because the scoring is not going to come easy. It's a reason why they're going to need another player who can score the ball. And whether that's a guy off the bench, whether that's a major trade, it's hard to tell. You could go get Malcolm Brogdon, who can create his own shot and create for others, have him on the bench, and give an excuse to sit Jalen Brunson and Julius Randle together for a few minutes in the playoffs, and just in regular games as it is. But really, they're going to need to do something. Trading quickly and Barrett led to the Knicks not having really any shot creation on the team outside of Brunson and Randle, and because of that, the Knicks they haven't struggled. I mean, they've been the best team in the league since 2024, but it's also not perfect, and no team in the league is perfect this season, but if the Knicks can just get a little bit more shot creation, they'll be almost as close as basically any team in the NBA, barring the Celtics. So, I think they still should do that, and before you know it, Randle's going to be back. He's going to have had that month off. It might not be the worst thing in the world if nothing serious is going on with the dislocation, if it just pops back into place and he's all good. So, I do think that everything will be okay in the long run, but the Knicks are going to have to figure something out in the short run. I don't really want them to lose their position in the Eastern Conference around that 4 or 5 area, especially when it's felt like recently like the Knicks could gun for that 3 spot, and now it feels less likely that could happen because they're missing out on Julius Randle for a month. It depends on how well they can hold down the fort without him. There's going to be a lack of 24 points per game now on the court for the Knicks. As you can see for Randle, he's averaging 24 points, 9 rebounds, and 5 assists while shooting 47% from the field. He's having a great season. I mean, they're all-star numbers, and he's an all-star caliber player, so that's why. And the Knicks are now without him for a month, but obviously that is a much better alternative to losing him for the rest of the year and basically saying, well, guess we're not doing anything this season because we don't have Randle, and let's be real, we're not getting that far without him. Teams would be able to collapse on Brunson so much that he would just constantly get double-teamed, and the Knicks would have been in some serious trouble come playoff time. And I know what people are going to say is, oh, well, Randle's not good in the playoffs anyway. Oh, shut up. Shut up. He was injured last year. Relax. Season before, he was getting double-teamed every possession because he carried the team to the playoffs as it was. So relax. He'll be fine. Let's stop pretending like Julius has been to the playoffs 10 times and he's got a field goal percentage of 32 when he's in there. Let's cool it. He's had good games in the playoffs with a destroyed ankle. Give it a break. I had to get that out of my system. Have a good day, guys. Thank God that Julius is coming back, and go Knicks.